Does science hold any weight? What y'all think? I'm gonna play some background music here. Some people go comment into so on the stream app trying to have a conversation. I ain't had a talk in a long time, so I'm like, let me see something because I hear a lot of people mimicking and mocking scientists like they're the know-it-alls, and at the same time they'll tell you that they made a mistake or they didn't know or they don't know something. They never completely know everything. And they're always discovering something. If you always discovering something, that means you don't know shit. And that's just my intake on it. But let me get to some background music. We got this produced by Rice 320. How you doing? How you doing? What's going on with it? What's up with it? Hey, the science hold any weight? These are kind of talks I like to have, but you got to be intellectual to come here. You can't be dumb. That's probably why a lot of people don't come, because I go way out in the water where I'll probably should be hanging with another crowd. You know what I'm saying? But what y'all think? Do y'all think that the science hold any weight? Do you think science holds any weight at all? I don't. What's up, Scott the Line? What you think about it, Scott? I'm just listening to some background music produced by Rice 320G, because you don't know. If you hit the link right there, brother, you can come right up. You can come up on the panel on YouTube. I'm double streaming right now, just kicking it, having fun. But I just wanted to know, because I hear a lot of people hollering about science. So I just want to know, do you think science holds any weight? But I don't think science holds any weight. I think it's good when you put the mathematics. What's up, Beast? My partner Beast over here on YouTube. Double streaming, Beast. I'm on Stereo app and YouTube. But I think science holds weight once they find the answer. But these new scientists, once they find the answer, they don't be satisfied because it ain't the answer they was looking for. You know what I mean? And one thing we do know about science and medicine, they never know shit. and they can't possibly know shit. They can't possibly know anything. Because in order to know everything, you would have to know every single person in and out, especially in hospitals to help them. See, penicillin might kill somebody, it might help me. Some science surrounds us when you look at physically. However, we have no solution why certain things the way they are. Bingo, because science can't prove it. And what is a scientist really? Is a scientist a person that a group of people that have a lot of money and influence? Is that a scientist that tell him that he's good at science? Or is science just normal and natural? Like, is science normal and natural like signs? Like learned behavior, signs. Already, beat. But it helped me, Beast. Like you say, you allergic to penicillin, amoxicillin. That should have you breaking out in hives. Yeah, see, I'm not. So can we? Is science okay for me and not for you because it didn't help you? Or is all the science just a whole bunch of people guessing because they don't know shit? But they are also being influenced and pushed by people with money. They can't make their own decisions. Hey, what if you found out that the world's leading, how you doing, Dr. Baker? What if you found out that the world's leading scientist in breast milk was a man, but we ain't got breast or milk? Wouldn't that seem kind of funny to you? Wouldn't that be kind of illogical? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. I thought the person who would know more about breast milk is the person who make it. And that's why I say, when you talk to science and scientists, Dr. Bay, can you do me a favor? If you got time, either come up on here or hit that link up there and come to my YouTube channel and because I want you to describe science. And you don't have to even do that. Matter of fact, if you leave a comment on what science is and what it stems from. How do we get science? Because I think that's important to know how we got science, because a lot of people rely on science, and sometimes science just be lying. It be lions. Science will tell you that something is diamonds and it's really limons. So, especially when there's influence involved. When you got influence involved when it comes to science, then is it really science, or is it just somebody paying somebody to say something? Hence, we have vaccination. But we never really, and we can't say, because people have always been intelligent, we can't sit and say that because we have vaccines now that they didn't have them then. But we do know long ago, it's supposed, the stories tell us that people lived a lot longer, but they didn't have a lot of the small characteristics and traits that we carry. They didn't eat meat. Meat was the center of the fruit. Meat wasn't what Dr. Bay, what you call it? It ain't meat. What is it? It's flesh. Two different things. Hold on, message. Marcel, how you doing, baby? Been in your stream, been in your little chat. Hold on.
Hey, Chris. Shout out to the room. Yeah, I think science hold waves, but I think it's important to remember that science is really just theories. And there's been plenty of times as the years have gone on where I think even some of Darwin's theories have been proven wrong. But it's just based on knowledge. So as we move forward, we're going to find that we can do things differently or that things were completely wrong. I will say that in some areas science is absolutely right. In others, I say, it's a theory that still stands. So it's just, as we get more information, get more education from more experiments, things like that, it's something that can be added to.
Already. But and the reason why is because the reason why I'm saying that is because we have so many sciences now. There's a science for everything. I mean, when I say it's a science for everything, it's like literally a science for everything now. A science to swinging the bat at a baseball, and it does change the game. I mean, a science to running. I mean, you could be running improperly. You wonder why you can't breathe or why you ain't getting no faster. You probably running improperly. I didn't know when I was a little kid I was running improperly until I learned how to run. I didn't know you could breathe while you run. I mean, that's how dumb I am. For real. Just stupid shit like that. I can get some high intelligence shit, but when it comes to normal shit, sometimes I'm dumb in the motherfucker. I just let you know. But at the same time, I didn't know you could breathe. And I know it sounds petty, but I didn't understand that I could actually breathe and run at the same time. And that you were supposed to breathe and run at the same time. I hold my breath. I'm running and grunting. giving it my all. You know what I'm saying? Lifting weights. There's sciences to everything. How to manage your money. You know what I'm saying? But so science, we can't say science does work. As long as when I say science like that, because they even have muscle science like in the military, when they have them doing their guns like that, that's muscle. They teach you muscle reaction. So if a certain instance go down or a certain trigger where it hits you, you're gonna bam and you're gonna be ready. There was a science to that. But like the science, like the medical science, is that, and that's serious. Is that a folly, or do you really have to watch your own back when you go to the hospital? You know what I'm saying? Cause one shoe don't fit everybody's foot. We all coded different. I don't care who you are. That's why you got different. And how many people on this earth, ain't none gonna be like yours. And whatever genius mind came up with that is dope to death. And I'm talking about fingerprint. You ain't gonna get no more. Ain't nobody else gonna get urine. And ain't nobody ever had urine. And there's been a lot of people on this earth coming and going every day. Imagine that. Hold on, message. I got a couple of them. Marcel.
Even not turning blue in the face trying to run. No, but there's a lot of shit that we don't know that, can be explained. I think the reason people, go for science is because humans, for whatever reason, we are not okay with, the unknown. We want an explanation, and science gives that, even though quite a lot of times it turns out to be incorrect. take the booster shot and COVID vaccines, for instance. I haven't done any research, but I'm pretty sure the things did a lot more harm than anything, or they didn't do anything at all. You know what I'm saying?
Already.
So it was a waste of time.
Already.
Just my opinion, but we'll see. We'll give it some years and see what's going on. I'm telling you, science has a dark side sometimes too. It's having sicknesses. I know people who've gotten the vaccine and they just sick, getting colds and stuff easily. You know what I'm saying? Whereas before they didn't get it till the weather was changing. So we'll see.
Jamie, how you doing, Jamie?
Respectfully, I don't know. What is this? A Google page?
Rufio, what's up?
Maybe in Christianity it doesn't hold weight. There's nothing in Christianity when it comes to science. In Islam it does. I'm just saying there's science in Islam, literally written in the Quran. Salam alaikum.
What I've learned is my partner Beast over here on my YouTube channel say what I've learned is modern medicine does more harm to most humans. We already have natural resources. Food, tea that benefits our health. Fruits, veggies, tea, herbs, spices, etc. What's up with you, Rufy? Already. Started your day shift. Good stuff, brother. Let me see what Dr. Bay got to say. Powerful man. Salute. Big dog, Dr. Bay. Power up.
Power up. Right on the street. Chris or Rice. Love to you, brother. Man, check your back checks, man. I just sent you the etymology of science and some of its meaning. The word science basically comes from the root word see, which means to know. So science is synonymous with knowledge. Yet the science that's promoted out here today is probably where the issue comes in at, because it's not necessarily based off of fact or things that have been proven, but things that are theorized in many cases, or it's a deliberate attempt to hide what the actual science says so that it can be profitable. And honestly, brother, Bill, much love.
Already, Dr. Bay. You know where I was going with it. So Dr. Bay, would it also be safe to say that it can be bought and we can all be scientists depending on which way we sway? Because of what? Because of it. Okay, science. State or fact of knowing what is known, knowledge, acquired by study, information, also assurance of knowledge, certitude, certainty, from old French science, knowledge, learning, application, corpus of human knowledge, from Latin scientia, knowledge, a knowing, expertness, from signs, genitive, scientist, intelligent, skill, present present participle of skyer, to know. All right. Because it can be bought. Unfortunately, hold on. The rest is the best. The body's immune system is the most powerful healing already, Rufy. Unfortunately, it comes down to these pharmaceutical companies doing what they do to make many billions of dollars. They profit off sickness, pain, and even death. Already, beast. They and that's you said profit, because that's what they're looking for. The more rest our brain and body gets, we humans are fully it's bad having heart attacks and strokes at an all-time high now because of the little jab. Hold on.
Yep, that's true. So there was a guy, I forget his name, and there have been plenty of other guys who have tried this. But the first person to come out with the I think it was like the motor of the car that ran on water instead of oil, it was gotten rid of. Anytime we get scientists that do stuff that take from the pockets of the rich, because y'all know oil is a big, big business, they get knocked off. You don't really hear about them. You know, you have people who've been poisoned, you've had people who've been beaten to death. The science community, like I said, they definitely have a dark side. I've seen a couple documentaries on this YouTube channel called Mr. Ballen, Ballen. Man, they do not play. So long as your science doesn't mess up somebody's money or prove a respected scientist's work wrong, they'll leave you alone. But you will do anything like that, your life will be in danger. They'll get rid of you real quick, try to hide you, bury your work.
And before I forget my thought, because I forgot my thought last time running my mouth too long. Before I forget my thought, I'm gonna tell you what part of science I think we need to combat. I just need, and I want solution-based answers because there's a science that's really crippling everybody, and I think it's the science of knowing people and separation. Because I really do believe it's a science in that. Do you know what I'm saying? I believe some of it's true, but I believe some of it's false. But I believe if every behavior is a learned behavior, you get what I'm saying? There has to be something to teach. And I think we get a lot of confusion in science because a lot of religions, when somebody says, well, Christianity ain't, but it's all, but they got a whole book called Numbers in the Bible. What you mean it's not based off science? You got codes and stuff all in there. Yeah, the whole thing is based off science. Observations. You get what I'm saying? And some of that stuff's still up to date. What's up with your eyeball? Hold on, technical T.
Hello, Mr. Chris.
How you doing, technical T? Dr. Bates, how up?
So, brother, based off of that, it's not the science that's the issue, or that's the problem. It's those that are promoting what they are doing as science, and they're labeling everything contrary to what they're doing as pseudoscience, when, according to the definition and the facts, they are actually practicing a type of pseudoscience. So it's the same game of reversing the script or flipping the script. And most cases, what we'll find is what we think is not what you think is not is. So they have switched many things up 180 degrees up versus of truth. Honest to your bill, brother. How else?
Already, Dr. Bates. Technical T.
And you know what, Mr. Chris, that is? It is a science to it. It is actually a dynamic quantum physics behind it. And there's reasons why. And, you know, that still goes back to the spiritualness of things, Mr. Chris. You know that. Because today, more scientists than anyone ever know refers back to biblical facts. Okay? So that's really what they know. That's the one thing that is truly dividing people.
Can we? That's where I'm trying to get to the nitty gritty. Got a question for you all. I'm gonna answer this question myself. How can science be definitive? By my partner Rufy Hood. How can science be definitive if it's bound to change at any moment? Ain't that something? How can science be definitive if it's bound to change at any moment? I some things that I call science, like the sun, how we go around the sun and we spin at the same time. Now people say the science and that ain't, but it just makes sense to me because it always comes up in the east and goes down in the west. So either it's going around us or we're going around it. But we have seasons, which means something. We're spinning. That means that's why we have seasons. Because when you're tilted, you're not always going to be the same distance away from the sun. When you get over here, you're gonna be closer. Like this, the sun. If you tilt like this and you over here like this, you're gonna be far away. But when you get over here on this side, this gonna be closer. But that's what makes sense to me. And that's a terrible example, just because I'm talking to Rufy, and he believed different than I believe, and that's my homeboy, and I got a lot of homeboys like that believe different than I believe. But you get what I'm saying, Dr. Baker.
Well, one final message, brother. Oftentimes, there appears to be a controversy or a conflict between the scientific community, so to speak, and those that are deemed as religious or those that give honor to the Most High by whatever name, label, or title. Now, another reference to the Most High manifestations is nature. So science is basically the process of trying to discover or uncover the mysteries of nature. So science is the study of the Most High. Honest to you, brother.
Honest to you, brother. Already, Dr. Bay. Man, it's so good to be in good company. Cause see how it all just makes sense. And it was simply said. The thing is, some things come when you have a fixed system, you got to have a group of people that come to some things, everything they do seems to work in their favor. Right? And they knew if they got a group like that, that would just in their minds prove to be them superior. Because you got another group that nothing works for them, right? And they do almost the same thing, but it don't work for them like it worked for them. Right? And that's where you get the understanding part. Because of the signs, because of what you know. If science is knowing. Because they don't know. I think that if they knew anything, they would take total control. But they know that we don't know nothing. And I think we give too much, how can I say it? I think we give too much leeway to people that don't care about us. Government fractions and stuff. I mean, if you gonna be part of this system, it's time to tell people how to survive. Hey man, just do what you're supposed to do if you're gonna be part of the system. But you don't have to be part of the system. But you also got to take what happened when the system, some happened to the system or the crown. Well, you go along with that, right? Like that happens to you too. If they doing something like, I don't care what you look like because of the things that our government has done under this banner that we represent as a flag. We just sat back and watched and kept paying taxes. There wasn't no uproar or nothing. We complain. Give them ideas and everything, right? And if there is a judgment and we don't think we're owed that we fed this whole time, I don't think things work like that. I think if you in the car, everybody get in trouble. By association. Even if you call out, against it because you still a part of it. And I think that's an understanding that a lot of people gonna have to get. And I get it. It's a lot of people that they're okay with that. we want some people that look like us. We call the military the service. But I read where a book that makes sense to me, where a creator said, "Be careful to whom you give your service." One of the big he left two when the Savior came and left. He left two things to do: love the Creator first, and love your neighbor like you love yourself. Two, and that would have took care of everything. It was that simple. And we joined the service. Who you serve? Who you serve? What do they tell them when they in the what do they tell them on their day? Thank you for your service. I think we got to get it right. I think we got to get it right. Know what I mean? And it all comes down to what? If you ask me now, science, getting to know. That's what it is. But the biggest barrier we have is um, it works for somebody. If we gonna be part of the system now, you don't have to be. I'll say this again. You don't have to be part of this system, and you can claim the benefits because it's way more beneficial to be on the outside than it is to be on the inside. I'm just being honest. Either you can be the bank or you can own the bank, but you can't be both. And that's just the way things go. And that's why the uppers they move the way that they move because they already know all this stuff. They ain't citizens. Why do you think every time they don't ever say we the people or nothing? They always say, well, we've got to do what's best for our citizens. Like they own you. You don't be listening to we don't be listening to like you property. But being taught to listen, that's a whole nother art. Because folks slick. Facial expression change. You can see the lie and the truth. And the truth and the lie. So when they say our people and you say you're a citizen, there you go. You say, hey, good morning, daddy. They call him Uncle Sam. He doing more than being an uncle. Now he ain't no uncle no more. He like stepdad. He whooping folks that ain't even did nothing. He like Joey. And they sit and they tell us, so how do we solution based? How do we put all this together? Especially when there's so many signs. And some of them just are right. I mean, when you put math in it and you keep doing it the same way, you're gonna get the same outcome every single time. It ain't gonna change. That's right. That's what it is. That's a definite. Because at some point we gonna have to really figure out what it is and come together. And at that point, science, at some point, what we know as just general science, it holds weight as long as it's in the season. But science in general, knowing and wanting to know is that's all you're looking for is creation. What happened? How did I get here? And why am I here? And where did I come from? And that has a whole bunch to do with it. But at judgment, if we part of this nation and we reap the benefits of this nation, if it come down to a judgment, that all happen, I haven't seen a nation yet that ain't been judged. I think that's why in Africa they just don't allow certain things. Certain things are very harmful. Over there, even they call it the Middle East, but that's just Africa. That's still Africa. But over there, they have certain laws and they don't play. They don't play. They don't care about making no money off of a crime. They break you down. You see, one thing we do know about over there, we don't hear about the overpopulation of jails. We don't hear about nobody being rehabilitated. No. And they got crazy. People strap bombs. They do all kinds of stuff to each other over there. They wild. But at the same time, we don't hear, they don't have that. Like, I don't believe they had too many prisoners. I think a lot of their inmates might be not from there, like a lot of countries. A lot of the inmates from a lot of countries be people that ain't even from there. They just got stuck over there, boys, playing. Know what I'm saying? So that's another thing. I wonder if they going to get that girl. Man, they don't quit talking about that girl. She gonna be over there 9 years. That girl done. Y'all think she going to get that girl? I was just thinking about that, thinking about prison. I don't know. I sure hope they go get that girl, but I don't think she coming home. Also, serve is just a way of saying sacrifice or slavery. Yeah. Because in order to be in the service, you got to be a servant. And at that point, you got to know what you're serving. I think that's crucial. I believe that's really crucial. And some people, like I say, you're going to have people that's okay with that. A lot of people, I know good preachers and pastors that served, and they okay with that. Because of, what they believe they were serving. You know what I mean? A lot of the information we privy to, we got to give a lot of people, we got to give them a little leeway, because a lot of the information that you privy to now wasn't privy to just readily like it is now. I mean, you just got to find the right, main thing you want to do is find somebody that was there. So when I give you some information, I tell you something. I ain't got no news articles. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't have that. I got talk shows where you got to pay attention, because he's gonna blow your mind. Then I got old cats that was way back when and that figured out way back then that's probably supposed to be dead but still here. And died an old man because he kept his word. And I just believe he was chosen. And a lot of people don't like, don't like studying this dude. But Dick Gregory, I'll tell you, man, if you looking for a pioneer, he don't get mentioned nothing. A lot of people don't know he was president for like 5 or 10 minutes. If you think I'm lying, just like my partner Paul Rose would say, clean talk or clean folk. He'll tell you. You can Google this in 5 or 10 minutes or less. You just didn't know what to look for. When I say he beat Nixon, yeah. And if he didn't beat Nixon, how come they have a speech where Dan Rather or Tom Brokaw is giving an apology after to him after they announced it, saying they was wrong? You want to know somebody that knows something about government? There it is. Now you know who will lead you in the right direction because they play games. You just can't play the game like they play the game when you find out what it really is. Then you run into people, just regular people on an app with not too many people ready to Dr. Bay connected all the dots. Like, bam, if them two got together, man, if him and Mark from Anaheim got together and put together a plan, this nation would be in trouble. And I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about government facets would be in serious trouble and they would know it. Be something like Japan is right now. Y'all know what's going on in Japan, right? Yeah, pretty much. Almost be. But look, y'all know what y'all heard about Japan? First of all, let me start off with, and you can look at this up because everybody keeps saying China. Japan, we owe them. They own more debt than China does to us of ours. Then the president get knocked off in the street like that. Then all the government officials started quitting like that. Man, who do we owe? Because this right here, now that's some G stuff right there when you don't know who you owe. Things don't move the right way in America. Hey, man, it might be some people. You see what's going on in Russia, all the people fire jumping out of windows and y'all ain't been paying. Man, it's got to come here. They all congregate here. This is like a science project for the elites. I don't think people understand me. We really not that old, right? All these other countries been through stuff. They all in the Bible. That's why they got the laws and they act the way they act over there. They see stuff that we think is, oh, that's a worry. That didn't really happen. It's strong-minded over there where they play. No, excuse me, Lord, but they don't play no whole games. Non-zero play. With the stuff we mess with and we experimenting, transgender and all this experiment and all this science, man, they don't do, no. They must have did that way back then. So some of that stuff must have really happened. That's just ordinary if you just if you just looking at things from an ordinary view. I try to be very ordinary. I don't want to be the the kind of person. I try to be ordinary, man. Hold on, wait a minute. Why they act like that over there? And then you read the Bible. You see all the catastrophes that happen when people acted like that, go to all the judgments that passed. Some people went dumb as hell, like Rome. Some people got crushed with water because they were doing anything and everything, worshiping anything and everything. They wasn't no they service was off. They science was off. So they know. So I don't care what in name of religion. Name one that over there that play with like we play with Christianity over here. Name one. We think we the oldest country. We act like we the oldest country. We know something. Because we done dropped a couple missiles on somebody and balled out. Took all they scientists. That's what this long cold war is about. This long war is about some scientists. Just in case y'all didn't know. That's how this all started. When America went broke. They went broke behind them scientists. They wanted to get out of Germany. World War One. It's that easy. They didn't make no money. In the history of the world, this is the first country that didn't make no money off of war. Everybody else did but them. They wasn't hip to the game. They didn't know no better. But we claim fame and champagne like we did, didn't we? Now everybody got a piece of our debt. Somewhere. And they come out with these numbers and the debt ceiling, and they can't pay this and can't afford this and can't do this and can't do that. They do this all the time. All the time. And we stuck in the same boat, thinking that because if we paying taxes, we funding this war giant. I'm just letting you know, your service. I heard a man, he called it your energy out of this skin suit avatar power. That's your service. I don't know what you believe, but I believe when a creator say, I'm jealous, then he say, give him your service and only him your service, because everything else will fall in line. So you have to believe that there's a savior and what the savior went through. Because you don't know, you wasn't there. Man, ain't that so ordinary? But it's hard. It's a hard thing to grasp because we make words. Science has made us make these words bigger than what they are. These words in science now are bigger than what they are. Science done made believe mean like when you believe something, you got a whole religion. And I'm not even. I'll just tell the person, why do I believe it? Because I don't know. I mean, that's what believe mean. When you was young and somebody told you that it was a Santa Claus, you now know that it's not, but you believe that it was back then, but you never saw him, so you never knew. Don't people always say that? I was practical. I had a chimney. But I used to go to my cousin's house, and she used to babysit me while my mama was at work. And so they was in the projects, and I used to wonder how in the hell Santa gonna get in here. For real, they'd have a tree, gifts, everything. And I'd be like, damn, how the hell Santa? Ain't no chimney. If the story stands corrected, then that's how I found out it wasn't Santa Claus. My mom just went on and told me because I thought about stuff like that. I don't know. I was kind of weird. I think 5 or 6. I'm thinking about stuff like that. I'm like, dang, I got a lot of presents. Santa already came here. I'm walking all through the house like a damn fool looking for a chimney. Ain't no damn chimney. How the hell did he get in there? They just let him in. They got to see him. I'm trying to stay the night. I'm excited. Them tender years. What's up with you, Eddie? The divine destruction by Almighty Babylon follows systematically. It got to. It's gonna follow suit. If you ask me, America is gonna be judged with grace. And first thing we gonna do is we gonna fall. We gonna fall. We gonna fall just in a part of erudition. We gonna fall in a part of erudition where everybody's gonna be highly educated, but there's gonna be no erudition. And y'all need to look that up. That's why I said that word. That's gonna be the first step when you. And I believe we here now. Erudition. There's a big difference between education and erudition. You need to look that up. Erudition versus education. Hold on, messages. Technical T.
And it's so easy for them to get people to believe stuff like that instead of believing the Lord because of the things that they cannot see. And this is why the Lord teaches faith is not by sight. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
So
So when we walk in faith, it's not by the things that we can see because people, I have never seen the real, original, whoever supposed to be Santa Claus. Now, do people dress up as this Santa Claus? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Now, have I experienced the realness of God's love and how He forgive me and give me life and bring me through a lot of things that were meant to take me out? Yes. Can I experience this to share it? I have. And that's
The Tooth Fairy too. Hold on, technical T.
But the truth is, you cannot even talk about the Lord these days without people thinking you some part of religion. And when you get to really learn what religion is, it's not what people think it is. And this is what I'm sharing today. Because the scientists even know this. So if the scientists know this, the world knows this. And guess who else? The devil. And this is what they still use to keep people so divided, and it still works. It still works to this day, and that's what's sad.
Well, it works because it's a science. Because they can prove the science. Because they can shift it. And things change all the time. That's the one constant we gonna have is change. Every day, your body, you might not notice it, but one day you gonna get up there. You can be like, man, because the one constant is change. You know, and they measured it by year. Now I don't know if our year is right, who year is right. They done manipulated time. I don't know. I got a lot of questions about that. Like sept, oct, nov, and des. Them is that's a number sequence right there. Now I'm trying to figure out what was January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and August. Because I think them was probably numbers. I don't think them started off as them words. And I know that in this on this calendar, sept is not the nine of nothing. That's the seven. Ox is the eight. Nov is the nine. Deci is the 10. Now I know that much because I know what numbers to say. That's the one constant I got.
And you know what? I looked up what erudition is, and it's right because it's dealing with knowledge. So that just lets you know people that got an education don't truly have erudition. So now, therefore, what do this mean? Let's bring it to the table. Let's get on the panel. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what the scientists know from truth, fact. Okay? Then let's go with erudition versus
Science, education.
Because if you get an education is systemic, it's something that can be false, that is indoctrinated in you. So this is why we need to get together and have our own systems that is given to us from the Most High, the true Most High. But you know, everybody Most High is not the Most High.
Yep.
Hey, it actually is, and I learned something about that. And it's actually, excuse me, about names of things. It's the, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to be rude, but, you know, a little chunky over here, but I'm about to get some, so I can share some of this stuff, because you're bringing up some good points right now.
Hey, what's up, Chris? Just
What's up?
popping in the room
You
here.
stinker?
Interesting title. Does science really hold weight? Yeah, I'll keep listening in. Just to see where this goes. If you're, and what your points are here, and if you have anything to kind of replace it, or just challenge science altogether. All right.
No, I'm not challenging science. I'm just asking the question. Not necessarily challenging science, because some science I can't challenge, like numbers. You can't challenge that. That's what that is. That's the definite. That's the one definite we got. Is calculations. And I know a lot of people don't know. A lot of that got to do with your cooking, the kind of stuff you got. When these restaurants open up, like in every city, a corporate restaurant, you do understand that in every city, that same setup is everywhere else because they did a science to that. So when they make a video about the restaurant, where things are, how it look, and every single one, it look damn near the same. When they make a video for that, they don't gotta make a million. They make one for 20 million stores. Because they all look the same. They did the science. This is what works. This is what don't. And we can calculate exactly how fast this will happen. We know this. It's a process. So we know I can't challenge science when it comes to numbers. I cook, I know. When I worked at this restaurant, I can't use that grill the same way I use the grill at my home restaurant with the one I run. I can't tell these cooks over here to cook like them because it's two different kind of grills. Same concept, flat iron, but two different. So it ain't gonna work. When you teaching people, it's easy to teach people how to cook. It got a lot to do with time and temperature. You don't need fire burns. We know that. Don't put your food on no fire unless you're trying to char it. That's all you gonna get. But science didn't have to tell me that. I touched some fire one time and I didn't let me know. That was science. That was a science experiment. You asked me. You ever touched some fire? Never knew what it was. Nobody was around. And you had to do it. No matter how many people said, "Ooh, fire's hot, it'll burn." Show your blisters and everything. You had to do it. That's me.
And that's the thing. See, numbers don't lie, but people do. So it's easy for something that's supposed to be 23 for a human or a person to change it to say 32. All they do is change the numbers around. You see? So this is something also that I like to talk about. Numbers are numbers, okay? Numbers don't lie. People do.
Yeah. And they can lie on the numbers too. We can agree to that. And that's a science. They know they lying on the numbers because they did the science before they lied on the number. We got to oh no, this ain't gonna work. We gonna have to tell you what. So we know how if we tell this the way it really is, these people gonna act a fool, these people gonna do this, because we know how folks act. We know the climate. So we gonna have to lie. But we gonna start an uproar. They ain't gonna take that problem. So at that point, does that science hold any weight? And that's why I say I ask questions because I try to be Rich. I try to be solution based. So I'm not biased one way or the other. I'm just gonna give you examples on both ends of the scale. Balance. Is that fair?
Well, I can say that paid science holds no weight because there was definitely science behind the tobacco companies, but that's not real science because look at the cancer-causing effects. There was science behind diet, drinks, and artificial sweeteners as well, but it's kind of biased science. So paid, biased science holds no weight to me, I guess.
Yeah. But how do you decipher the two, especially when you in a debate? Because if you bring out some science, people will say, "Oh no, you Christian, you religious," and I'll be like, "Wait, we ain't even. Hold on, wait. I thought we was talking. You just normal. Where did religion come from?" You get what you see what I'm saying with that? Because we don't know, and that's why I say science. These are some of the things that science did, made words bigger. Believe. I only believe because I don't know. If and I don't know, I ain't gonna never know. I don't got used to that. I guess that's called faith. Having faith. It just some things just make a lot of sense. Some things don't. Do I can't I don't have the power to change it because I don't know anything. Well, they can if they born in Africa. Eddie. He said, "What is the science behind white man cannot produce Africans?" I mean, I don't know the science behind them getting here or why things are like that. I know what I read. It just hasn't come to me in a pure form because I hear all kind of conversations about how people became different. But I mean, there's a to me, I thought there was a lot of different kind of white folks. Now I'm finding out there's just one kind of white people, and everybody else is pretty much yellow or black. But I don't know because we got so many different. I mean, when you start looking around the world, everything don't look. Nobody looks the same. Americans, we don't look like nobody. We just look like a whole bunch of uh dang, I hate to say it, but a whole bunch of them dogs that just you don't know what they mix with. They got a lot of different kind of dogs over here. Got some German pit bull in him. He got some Rottweiler in him. He got a Schnauzer. He got some Blue Heeler in him. The nigga just a mutt. He just got everything. Man, what kind of dogs that I don't know. Everything. That's kind of the way it is in America because of, you know, uh, things that just took place in history. Fetishes and all kind of stuff that went on that caused production. Because that's what you're gonna do when you lay down. You that's what I mean, that's just fact.
Yeah, that's a good question too. Because I debate a lot of atheists as well, and basically you have to do your research in terms of the peer-reviewed groups, and a lot of the peer-reviewed groups are biased. So if I wanted to challenge, let's say, evolution, I won't be able to because I'll be laughed out of class or the building before I even get to, publish an article. That's a known issue. So if you're going to have to debate something like that to anybody, get good sources and also prove from other doctors that the alternative source that you need that's going to back your point cannot be made well because of bias. So you have to somehow prove that. So it's sometimes the science is leaning towards the other person's favor. I'm running out of time, but I can get into this deep.
Shoot, you sure can if you want to. You can go up here. All you gotta do is say something. But that's the thing. That's where the barrier is, and I think science caused a lot of it. I think science is the reason for all of it because now we're having the science of stuff that we already know what it is. Like we trying to figure out the science of a transgender person and all this. That ain't no science. It's just some things are true and some things are false. And just because you feel a certain type of way, it don't make you be that. You are what you are. You just got your own feelings, and you have to accept who you are. I mean, it's okay. It's okay for a dude, I guess, to feel the way he feels, or a girl to feel the way they feel. I don't have no problems with that. But don't lie and say you feel like the opposite sex. You ain't never been the opposite sex. Now you lying, unless you've been here before. When you telling us something, then that ain't good. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because if you keep coming back here, that ain't good. Because as you can see, ain't nothing getting better. It's all getting worse. As promised. As promised. We watched it. Now, when I was a little kid and they told me the world was going to end, I already knew they was telling the story because they already say no man know the day or the time. All I know is I like video games and I still like them, and I hope they keep doing that. That's probably what I'll be doing if the world comes to. I'll probably be on the game. And I'm being serious. But it's hard when that's because when you what they don't I think what atheists don't understand is when they ask you about creation and evolution and you compare the two. The thing is, the only place you get a creation story is out of that time frame and that manner written. That's it. I mean, there's a lot of mimics and and you can tell the mimics because they do say the same, but there's particulars that's different. That just it wouldn't make sense to put that there or to have that after you said what it was. But almost every creation story that you know, it come out of that right there. Right there. Now the knowledge basis emphasis after that, all that's been manipulated to run to run kingdoms. And the thing about us is we wasn't built. If you ask me, you you um you don't need nobody to tell you what's right and what's wrong. You got your own mind. And people do have a conscience. Now when you become unconscious, I don't know if you're really alive, but people have a conscience. As hard as they try to be, when they know they did something wrong and they still trying to justify why they did it, it's wrong. That's the justification. Wrong. Because there's a such thing as right and wrong. And sometimes things that play with your conscience, even when you iffy about some things that play with your conscience, if you don't got a clear conscience coming at that situation, you probably did the wrong thing. Even if it hurts you to do the right thing. But you got a clear conscience. I'd rather have a clear conscience because I things weigh heavy on my heart. So I try to treat people right. So I think that there is definite rights and wrongs, truths and lies. But the thing is, the trick is, you don't want to tell somebody they a lie. Because you really can't because they get to be exactly for real. Regardless of how people think, whether they make it a law or not, a person can be exactly what they want to be, especially nowadays. Like, you can't just be a rapper. When I was growing up, like, you couldn't just be a rapper. Like, it made no sense. Especially if you didn't live in a town where people could actually produce your music. Like, people had to move places and travel and all kind of stuff. It wasn't like it is now. Now you can just for a few hours you can be a rapper, a podcaster. Then you can turn it down and go to work and be whatever you are there. You know what I'm saying? So nowadays things move a little bit faster. You can actually be what you want to be in, you know, zero time flat. Because it ain't up. And the only reason I say it is because it's not always been like that. Now you could have been a rapper in your hometown, but are you really a rapper or just, you know, because you ain't really gonna get no exposure. I mean, you can call yourself a rapper just like now. You can call yourself a rapper on YouTube. You can actually do that though. You actually can get an audience, you know, that actually could move some. I mean, Soldier Boy he laid down the rules. He showed. I think it was Soldier Boy. I might be wrong. And for people like that, I just wonder, do they know about the facets of the system or the government? Do they understand how things work? And I'm talking about just guys like that. I think that a lot of the actors and actresses and people that move around a lot, I think they know. You know. But I don't think I'm wondering, do some of the like young rappers that do come out with certain stuff. One, especially one getting killed. Do they know really how the facets of government work and what they really or what the real agenda is? Because if they did, they probably should think about it, at least turning around before they started to say something crazy. Now I think that's one thing that we really need to tap into is to get in the know. And like I say, the one thing, like I say, when Doc Bay was talking, and I was just thinking, and he was saying how the facets of government work and how everything came down. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Because this guy over here is a military guy, and he has the same exact story, except for his comes from the military standpoint. He's talking about Prescott Bush and his two friends and how this fell down, went like this, and then in a circle like this. And Dr. Bay's like, okay, well, it went down. And bam, I thought to myself, wait a minute. The truth, if I'm living a lie, and this is a straw man, the truth will set me free. That's a literal term. Like, literally. Like, once you know who you truly are, what nation you're really from, your nationality, because but it all makes sense because it took me back to thinking about like all the great world leaders. You know, they people was taken care of. Like if you was born there, you got land there automatically, so much money. But in America, it ain't like that because I'm black, you white, and there ain't no nation called black and white. So where did we fall? Where the fuck we fall in? That ain't. So okay, then I got to ask myself because Doc Bay was like, "Your nationality, okay, okay." Well, hold on, wait a minute. What is my nationality? Where the hell I'm from? Who? Goddamn, who? You know what? You know what? This is agitating because now I got to do some digging, and I'm like, when I tell you mutt, M-U-T, I'm not even playing with you, mutt. Everything comes out of the first. The Aboriginal was everywhere first. It don't matter what they call indigenous, how they paint the picture, what they make them look like. It was Aboriginal. The world was Aboriginal. You can't not be Aboriginal just in New Zealand. That's not possible because of the word original. When you're Aboriginal, that means that's a world population. That has something to do with the origin. So now it's all making sense. It's just that education has taken over, which introduces us to science as being something, a bigger word that makes other words bigger, like believe. Know what I'm saying? It all makes sense. Okay, no wonder they getting land. That's their nationality. That's their nation. And they nation cool, it give it back. It say, okay, that's your nationality. You from, this is where you was born. We disrupt, us as Americans, we you know what our country did with that. No, you can't be acting right. No, he over there and the people that he over there poisoning people and doing stuff to people. Yeah, them the people trying to kill him. Yeah, of course he gonna have some adversaries that don't like him in power. And you team up with them over here and drive them out. Hold on.
And then it's just when you do find yourself, what do people do with it? You know what I mean? Do they really truly try to educate, or do they end up with intentions and motives and agendas just as well as those same people that a lot of people end up talking about? You know, this is what is so crazy. People spend so much time on these kind of talks than a talk that can truly bring people together because I want to build. I want to build the church, the spiritual church of God. And you know what? This is why it's based on an individual because you can want to build something so spiritual and good of righteousness, but you cannot if you want to continue to have certain ones that are supposed to be our loved ones and our friends to come with us and they're not ready.
already, but I I think they always ready. If you ask me, ready for. I think everybody is always ready. But like I say, when you got to words big that come out big, like believe because of science, and then people twist it. Like, well, this is what I believe, but I also believe, like, I believe I'm gonna wake up in the morning. And why do I believe that? Because I don't see any imminent danger coming my way. I don't really do much. I mean, that's the math. This plus this equals that. A plus B equals C. I go to work, I come home, and I go to sleep. Hopefully, I'll do that again tomorrow. I've been doing that for a little while now.
Everyone truly don't believe in the same thing. Everyone can say they believe in God. The truth is, people's gods are different, whether they want to admit it or not. Because if I believe in God and this person tells me they believe in God, but the way we live and the way that I'm doing, you telling me it's not right according to your way, then let me tell you, we are not believing in the same thing. There's no way you can tell me that. Now, if I'm believing in the Lord and my experience and through life, I'm being blessed, and this is what the Lord is showing me through staying strong and trusting in Him, then who can tell me that I'm not believing right? You see, this is the issue that we really having today.
Yeah, but we got the first thing I do is I always say what blessed is, because I mean, like, if you hit the lottery and you get on a hard drug or you mess all the money off, was it really a blessing? If you come out with a bad habit, lose all the money, was it really a blessing? I mean, we know stories of that right now, and people don't do that so much no more because they used to. They don't got smart. They don't started calling lawyers when they get their money now and stuff like that. But think about what I'm saying. Was it really a blessing? Say I don't do no drugs or nothing. Just say I hit the lottery and go get me a fast car. I really can't handle fast cars, and I speed and hurt myself. Was it really a blessing? You get where I'm coming from? Lose a limb or something. Was it really a blessing? So we got clearly define blessing, but I would go to Matthew and read the Beatitudes, but that's what I believe. I don't know. I have faith.
People, life experience is definitely going to be different. The thing is, if you truly believe in the Lord Jesus, guess what? You're going to find out that a lot of people who believe in Jesus come out on the better end as well. And the compassion that they have for others, the love that they have, and they are willing on their own to share it with no bias. No matter what you believe in or how you believe in, but you cannot find that in other religions. Other people's beliefs, you will not find it.
But they run the same parallels as far as coinciding. I haven't really seen a religion that don't want to coincide. Even the Satan worshippers want to coincide. They got some twisted stuff, but they want to coincide. Everybody wants to coincide. But that's why you have these belief systems, because everybody's a scientist. Don't it make sense? If science is trying to know something, looking at the signs, because it worked for them. whatever it do, it worked for them. And that's where a lot of the divide, because what worked for you, we don't understand why it don't work for somebody else. But I don't think that that's our business. To you can just, all you can do is present the information. Some people, the bell ain't gonna ring. There is a such thing as retrograde mind, and there's different speeds of it too. We got retarded people. That's a retrograde mind. That mind ain't going nowhere. That what you taught that from the baby. That's it. That's all it pertains. We see grown people that can maintain with a retrograde mind can't do the simple stuff, but run a whole household. I mean, it don't take a genius to see these things. You know what I'm saying? So, and the thing is, something can happen to you within an instant. You not even know you like that no more. I'm willing to learn. And a lot of things, like I say, formal science is to blame for almost every aspect of it, because there is a science to everything. I think, but I think the science is simple. I don't think it's as hard as we make it. But it gets complicated because you got so many different kind of people. Like my partner Eddie over, he like he says, we as Africans didn't have a choice. This white man way of life and belief was forced on us until the Savior healed the deaf, dumb, and blind. But see, that's the thing, Eddie. I I can't say completely that, because first of all, we can't say just Africa, because like that's a continent, that's not a nation. So we got to figure out the nationality. When Africans come over here, they'll tell you they have a nationality. They really don't have, like, they don't say they from Africa. You just guess the continent. It's kind of like when we go somewhere and they say, "Where you from?" Say the United States. Well, they already know America. That's what the United States is. But when you ask an African when they come over here, "Oh, you from where? You from?" Nairobi. They know their nationality. My thing is, I want to know what this was called before they got here, because in order for them to pull the skin they pull back on this country, they had to do something drastic. And from what I understand, them disease blankets, that was a cold piece, man. That race, that kind of stunt right there would erase all your wisdom. Hold on.
And see, those are things that I ain't even talking about. That kind. See, when you know a blessing is a blessing, you know it was. You see, people, even if you was to win the lottery and you did well by it and you gave and you gave and you gave, you made sure you had what you needed, but you definitely made sure you gave, and you ain't end up with no bad habit, but was blessed in more abundant ways to where you ain't end up in no type of trouble with the government as far as on your tax issues, and you was still blessed with even more to bless even more people. Then what? See, this is why people's experiences is different. This is why when you ask yourself, if I was given a whole lot of money, what would I do? A lot of people, their intentions is what drive them to do things like that.
Yeah, but at the same time, absolute power corrupts. Is that a blessing? You know, Paul, he had a thorn in his side. right? You know why he kept that thorn? You know why God kept? Because the things he knew, the things that had been revealed, what he knew. He might have thought that he could have been God because of the things he knew. You know, one thing about knowing, that's power. Knowledge is power. We don't even know what a woman is no more because of science. And I think and to me, that's the downfall of a nation. Right where we looking at it, right here, right now. We looking right at it. Nobody's uproar. Everybody just kind of going on with it, making excuses for it. Some people pro-black. They don't mind long as it's black, 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 black. Ain't say that was completely a blessing. Can't say that. I mean, yeah, good look, but was it a blessing? But oh, you know about the Africans? Yeah, our people who was cast out of Asia. Uh-huh. But and still being cast out. But we got to find our nationality. I believe a lot of us really is still blood tied to this land. I do. That's my belief. I don't believe they brought that many people. I just believe they saturated. Like they're gonna have to do in a minute. They saturated. Because they ain't producing. And you looking at all the commercials, you see mixed couples on all the commercials.
No one wants to coincide, even if you feel that they do. Once that you say you believe in Jesus and you truly understand the whole parallel parable, the whole mythology, the whole theology, the whole etymology, the whole etymology, the whole everything about what is true, it ain't no walking alone with one another. And I've learned that. I've learned it. I understand it. I see what the common denominator is with a lot of these things. Whether people want to admit it or not. I know. I understand. I get it. And that's right. And when we start accepting that fact, which I have, some people have already been given over to a reprobate mind. It's a reprobate. And it's REPROBATE, a reprobate mind. So I understand what that is. And a lot of people have been done that way. You don't even know. A lot of people don't know that though. That ain't in the word. So when I get that, that's what you have to be even willing to accept today. This is why he said all are called. All are called. All are called to be in the word and believe in Jesus the Christ. Okay?
Already.
He said few is going to only be chosen though because he.
Yep.
And he said only few going to be chosen. All are called, only few going to be chosen because he know how people are going to believe regardless. And it's because the world have made people feel like if they do these certain things, they cannot be a part of the kingdom of God. And these things now, I tell you, are not true. That's why he say come as you are. It don't mean come with your suit pants and all that. It mean come with your drink, your smoke, your dirt, your scandals, your stuff. Come with them. Let's chill at the table and eat. Let's talk. Somebody who love you for who you are, not for what you can do or what you look like. You know, So this is what people need to understand. Today is crazy. But the politician world, the Lord was a part. He know what it
He
is.
know what it is.
And the sad part is, listen, Mr. Chris, the Lord already let us know we was gonna be strangers in the land. We was gonna be sojourners in a land that was not ours. You see? And he said we will still come out with the possessions. You know, so if someone had absolute power, then that means they would know that something can hurt them, and they would have absolute power not to do it, right? So then, therefore, really, people here on earth don't have absolute power. Because if that's the case, trust me, some people will already be gone to heaven if that's the case, right? That's just putting it in a simple way.
Yeah, for sure. I say that a lot, Technical T. If you know the way, why you ain't gone? If you God or you a God, why you ain't gone to your kingdom? Why you here? What you waiting on?
Let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authorities resists what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment. For rulers are not a terror to good conduct, but to bad. Would you have to would would you have no fear of the one who is in authority? Then do what is good, and you will receive his approval. For he is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for he does not bear the sword in vain. What is one willing to truly believe when they go study, though? A lot of people go study and still don't believe what they study. But see, people don't even understand what that even is because what they be teaching about the 12 tribes, people already see them as being type of racist type people, those ones they call the Israelites. But if you truly go look up your nationality, you'll look it up. You know what I'm saying? You'll learn the Benjamins is representative of who Jamaicans, you know, the
Yeah.
tribe of Dan is the Ethiopian Rastafarians, you know, the tribe of Judah is the American blacks. You know that, you know, Issachar the Mexicans, you learn about Ephraim and Manasseh. Like, you can look and learn this stuff up and to understand. This is why the Lord said you come from a royal priesthood, because when you learn most of the kings and things of royalty come from the tribe of Judah. You see what I mean? So I just it's easy and people is willing to go and study, but then it's also what
Yeah. You see, it get complicated. That's where it get complicated at because, but see, in this land with the tarnishment of the bloods, you don't know we live by a whole nother law that we don't even know we live by. I mean, we got our set of laws they keep us occupied with, but we really do live by a whole nother set of laws that you need a lawyer for. That's why you have to get a lawyer in most cases because you are a minority, and that's even people that don't even look like us. They be having lawyers because ain't nobody gonna look at them serious when you come in there as a fictitious. You're a fictitious identity. That's who you're traveling under. That was a big reason why Sebi was Sebi. It was something he knew, and they knew that he knew it. That's why he was able to enter court, like that. But if me and you try to go in court like that, we gonna be labeled crazy. They ain't gonna listen. You going to jail because you going as a representation of a I guess as of a as a representation of commodity. In every country, they herding up our people. We gotta see what we're gonna do with our people. And then they get to pick who their people is, as we see here in America, especially if you part of it. Well, I just had to understand. Well, I'm in debt. I sure got to figure this out because I thought I was doing good. Being part of this. And then I found that you don't have to be part of this, but it's a lot of you got to know what you're doing and you got to know who to do it with. I think the first process is claiming your status. You got to find that get your real birth certificate, claim it to the state and to the federal government after that. But I don't know if that's even true. But I think that's the first step. And we don't understand what the difference between the minority and the majority is for real. They give us numbers and science on numbers, and that's not really probably what it is. He said, "I make you as a synagogue." Yep. Hmm.
And a lot of times when our people got in power, they were ending up wicked because they let it go to their head.
Bingo.
And it's just sad. We was looking up some stuff the other night. What jury do to the body? People would be so surprised if they see how much gold and all these different metals actually hurt your body in your organs. You know, you gonna learn that you have gold in your brain and in your heart and in your kidneys, and you wonder why they want certain people. You know, but it's in the human. When you learn about what the human is, first off, go look at what hue means. You know, like let's study something. What do hue mean, Mr. Chris Sherry?
And
look up hue, H-U-E.
I just think it means having a tint or a color. I'm pretty sure it's like having a tint or a color. Bronze, something like that.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I actually was able to be blessed to be my own per se one time in the courtroom. And you know what? It rolled in my favor. Me trusting in the Lord as my lawyer, my doctor, me learning in Leviticus. Listen, and doing what it said. Going back to the position, when if you got a boy or something and it'll come to a whitehead, that means it's under your skin, go back to position 7 days. I did that. And kind of find out I had a rare cyst and had to have an emergency surgery. And when I'm sitting up here telling you the truth, people ain't gonna believe it, but this is so the truth. It's because of me reading in the word, it saved my life. It saved my life. I couldn't even use the restroom. I couldn't make up. It was so painful what I went through. Like, and every time I see something, I want to say it's rare. It's rare. You know, I come down with TTP. They say, oh, it's a rare blood disorder. 94% of people ended up in a fatality. I had to go through 3 blood transfusions and 10 to 15 bags of plasma a day. Like, this is so real. Like, I had to even go through 4 rounds of chemo to stabilize my body, even with that. This is why I know God is real, because the things that He showed to me, He showed to me, and He have kept me through. Even when they said I couldn't have no more kids, I had had 2 more children with my husband. You know what I mean? So I love the Lord, and I just truly believe in what He showed me. So I'm just gonna share that. And people could have their own experience. And then you put man with the human. What do you get? If you put hue, plus the word man. What do you get? And you wonder why your people are so valuable to the world and they don't even understand. The one who created you made you so beautiful, so marvelous, and we don't even understand how precious we are to him.
Yeah, but you can get an understanding. I mean, they done did another science on this, and I don't know if they meant to do the science on this. What's up, brother Eddie? But Eddie, if you go to YouTube and look at a video called "How the Sun Sees Us," and that really makes me question a lot of humanity. And they didn't show a vast array of people. It was more just like an American short where they show what we call white people and what we call black people under the same UV light. And it's almost scary because you start to wonder at that point, is everybody human? And once you see it, it put a stain on your brain. I'm just letting you know. Yeah, you right, Ed. But if we all came from one tribe and it say whosoever, do that mean that too? You know what I mean? It's just, how is it going to work? How does this work? Because is everything human? And then you start hearing about, different entities. And I believe that there's different entities here because it clearly some stuff didn't come from some stuff, and we probably made some more stuff. I think humanity, I think original man, was way smart. But they had a direct connection with God. I think they was way smarter. Their program was way smarter. I think a lot of things we think we need gives us a lot of our disease. I'm gonna get back with this dude I listen to. He don't come on very much at all. Like I say, he's more of a boots on the ground kind of guy. So you got to catch him. He be on the Carl Nelson show. His name Mark from Anaheim, but he was looking into something. I wonder if he ever figured it out. I'm gonna ask him next time if I can catch him on the Carl Nelson show. But he wanted to know what really caused breast cancer. He don't he don't think it's the diet. He thinks it's the he thinks it's the wire in the bra. And I don't know what he came up with, but I think that's pretty smart because I don't think that's natural. You get what I'm saying? But he really did, and he just shook my brain. But when you find out certain things like that, things that we think bring comfort actually bring disease in the long run, dis-ease. Well then, like I said, certain things are they really when it comes down to it, because a blessing is everlasting. Once you get a blessing, that's what that is. It tell you what blessings are, but that's different than the Savior walked on earth and didn't want nothing. You mean to tell me God's own son, he didn't want nothing? He was like, yeah, this is cool, but nah, I'm good. What did he know? He didn't have to believe. What did he know? What's better than this? Now, I think this is a wonderful place. All my good days outweigh my bad days, but I done had a lot to show that hell of a life. I'm just being honest. I did a whole bunch of all the wrong and now the right too, but I had fun. I got to choose. It was on.
Oh my goodness, this 1 minute is so not long enough. But when you get to talking about human nature, unconditional love, you learn everyone has melanin, but there's a certain melanin that's within a
everything
certain
got melanin.
people that gives them their hue. We have to understand where compassion comes from. It's not enough time to talk.
That's what, like I say, y'all check that video out. It'll mess you
Mr.
up.
Chris, we're going to talk about this because the word humanity is from the Latin humanities, right? From human nature.
Yep.
Kindness. Humanity includes all the humans, but it can also refer to the kind feelings humans often have for each other. So, therefore, people who do not have an emotional love, unconditional love for their neighbor and one another cannot be humanity type humans. That means you cannot possibly care. Why do you think God talks and stress so much about love one another, exhort one another, so you can be a part of humanity? The human nature. So
yeah, it's a lot of. That's what I say. It's a lot of human nature. It's a lot of. Shoot, it's 5 o'clock. Let me get off of here. I sure appreciate y'all for rocking with me on both ends. I got to go check on my daughter Grace. She just walked in the door after school, but daddy duties. Then I'm playing the game because I got school after that. Hey, that thing Big Boy talking about, because I'm going to school for cybersecurity. They paid me 15 grand, my tuition 15 grand to work from home. For this class. Now I don't know how long the class is, but I know I was like a week behind, and she shuffled me on in there and paid all of it. I qualify for all kind of programs. I'm just glad for the class. I'm doing okay. I don't want to take advantage of the program. I guess if I want something, I'll reach out to them and see how it go. But that for Big Boy Nevada Helpdesk.org, and they really want the children because they need 700,000 employees, and you don't have to do cybersecurity. They need them for everything, coding, all kind of stuff, programming, all kind of stuff. Whatever tickle your fancy, cooks, and the children, they want them from I think 16 to 24, but they trying to build this legion up. They need on hand people, and they need people, that off. What I'm doing is remote, where I can be wherever I want to be at work. So, I would advise somebody to get into that. Big Boy, Prisoner War, all them guys over there turn me on to that. A True Village is what it's called. So, um, yeah, I got to get ready for that. But yeah, one love, and thank y'all for hanging on in there with your boy.